all my melodies.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to tell the story about partying with Dave is because I've always had curiosity about what it's like to party with famous people. Like, you hear the stories of LA parties and, like, how it goes crazy. And it lived up to the expectations.
Really?
Yeah. So it was the weekend before the week of St. Patty's Day. It was, like, early March, and Dave was doing a talk at UIC where he just, like, gets a Q&A session, talks about vlogging.
He just goes to each college.
Yeah, and just does his show. And I always knew this was happening. And we wanted to interview him for take notes, talk about the business side of being David Dobrik, but it just didn't work out because his flights are crazy and this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
But it was like, yo, if you want to come to the show, you can come. And I was like, if I say no to that,
but probably not. Sorry.
Shoot me. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got a game of pickleball over at the rec, dude. I can't come watch David Dobrik do his show and hang out with you guys.
Corn here in Illinois.
But yeah, and I knew I was comfortable going because I'd met John, Alex, and Mike, who are the Vernon Hills group.
Okay. And
then I was like, are they gonna be there? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I go, and you know what's scary about being famous is how everyone knows where you're gonna be before you're there. I pull up and they have us. They're like, pull into this parking garage, or like it's a shipping bay where they have like the garage doors for trucks to unload, and then we'll walk you through the back to get in. Well,
so you're with that group right now?
No, I'm not. I'm coming solo. I'm coming from a different place. They're coming. Ilya and them are hanging out somewhere in Vernon Hills. Okay. And they were going to the show. I was meeting them at the show.
Okay.
And I pull up to the parking garage area, and there are dudes taking photos of my car.
Because they thought you were David?
Bro, the red Ford Escape is not David Dobrik.
I was going to say, damn, David.
I remember I was driving, and you know what was fucking scary is the flashes were like, I was like,
shit.
I was like, if I hit one of you, that's a story. TMZ will really know my name at that point.
That's kind of hype.
So they're like, is it here? Is he here? They're like screaming. I'm like, no. What are you guys over here for? This isn't even where he's coming in. I pretended to be part of the show.
Yeah, no way.
So then I stay there, and they pull up, and I was waiting like at the fence, like 20 yards away, and Ilya drives and pulls up in the Beamer. Jason's with him, his manager Jack, Natalie, Susie's there, Mike, John, like the crew.
Yeah.
And I'm the only outsider, and I was just like, oh, okay, here we go. And I remember Ilya was like, Aaron, let's go. And I was like, why is he like being so harsh with me? Like, I'm already nervous. And I look back, there was like 30 kids behind me trying to run to get Dave.
What?
So I run. I run to get to the steps, and we get in the elevator, and he's like, close the doors.
Wait, where are you right now?
We're at UIC's like back shipping bay, and then going into the campus auditorium. And I remember I had met Dave before, and we played basketball together. And they both had like the look of like, we know you, but why do we know you?
Yeah.
And I was just like, out of breath in the elevator, like, I'm Aaron.
What's up, guys?
And Ilya's like the guy who's like internet. He's just like, yeah, this is Aaron. and
not even anything to say.
And you know what the fucking saddest part was? Is I had bought one of Jason Nash's sweatshirts back in the day, and like wearing a guy's merch to meet him is so corny. But I got in my car thinking I had another sweatshirt, and it was the only one, and it was freezing. So I was like, fuck. So I get in the elevator, and Jason looks at the sweatshirt. He's like, is that my merch? And I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan.
I'm dead.
No, actually, funny story. His merch company sent me 2 by accident. I paid for one. I thought that would be like a some reason in my brain. I was like, that's funny. It's not funny. I remember looking at him. I was like, yeah, your merch company actually sent me 2. And I thought about returning it. But then I spilled mustard on one. So, like, it was like, I guess it was meant to be. And he just looks at me. He's like, okay.
He's like, I got way too many.
And I'm like
of those.
looking at Ilya. I'm like, yo, I'm treading water over here. And it feels like I'm drowning. Like,
Ilya's just in his corner.
You know, Ilya's power
just
move,
vibing.
just
yeah.
silent. He's just like,
That's
let him ramble.
hilarious. So do you not introduce yourself? Like,
no, that's the joke, because I'll talk about Jason in some point. Hopefully he'll come on the show eventually. Jason is like the nicest person I've met that deals with like celebrities. Oh my gosh. First time when we played basketball with him over Thanksgiving, he was like, hey, what's your name?
No way.
You work with Ilya? Like
I love people like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And just like super engaging and super nice. We were at Dave & Buster's later. He was like, yeah, man. He's like, you're pretty good at basketball. And I was just like, do you want to be friends?
Yeah.
Like, let's hang out.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm free. So to finish the story, we go into UIC, And we're in like the green room hanging out, and they're like filming some bits and stuff, which is kind of cool to watch. And they're just joking around. But the funny part is I think they had like a long travel day or whatever, because I show up and we get in the green room, and we came in like 2 separate groups. And I think David was like, can we shut the lights off? So like all of his friends, all of us are just sitting in this green room just with like the lights off. Just like vibing.
Why?
He's just like, we're all like eating the Jimmy John sandwiches they left out.
Just
like,
in darkness.
Like,
that's so random.
Honestly, I kind of realize why. It's like it's nice to have like a peace and quiet moment, and he's surrounded by people that he knows, and so he does a show, he kills it. I remember Susie came with, and like David likes to bring a different one of his friend circle to every college show, and Susie looks at me and she's like, "Can you film me going on stage?" I don't know what it was for.
That's
she wanted to
big.
show someone, whatever.
Did you have your camera there? Or
No, she handed me her cell phone, and I
Okay.
choked.
No way. Your one chance.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I can't record on a phone.
I was like, "Oh, I can. Yeah, I'll do it for you." And I was like, "Sweet." Now Susie will be like, "That's the guy that filmed me going on stage."
Nope.
No, this was the guy who filmed you going through the door to the stage and then completely missed you. So I have a defense, to be honest. I was sitting in the back hallway and we had a ton of chairs, and she hands me her phone because Jack, the manager, communicates between who David wants to bring out when and like what. And he just slams the door. He's like, "Susie, now's your time," and like gives it like this emphasis. I'm pretty sure he could have been like, "Hey, Susie, you're good to go," and like, Susie and I both react the same way. We're like, "Oh," so I like hop up and I go to film her, and I'm like, and I'm doing a good job, and then I hit the chairs.
No.
So I hop over the chairs, and Susie is getting up there because she's like, she has the same emphasis I do. Like, I need to get out there. It's my time to like share a story or whatever.
So they're like going to the stage, right?
Yeah,
on
like,
the stage.
They're going up, and they're going up from the back, and I'm like, and I was like, "Hey, I kind of got you going on the stage," and I was so worried she was gonna be like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
No way.
And in my head, I was like, "Oh, so this wasn't that big of a deal." I was like sweating it. I was like, "Hey, I got like 4 seconds to walking out there."
Your one chance.
So, and in a constant situation when you're with new people, you're always evaluating like, how am I fitting in? Where's my thing? And I'm just normally someone who's very comfortable just sitting quiet. And it comes time to leave, and I actually had to move my car earlier. That was an important part of the story, but is now. And John and Mike are like, "Yo, we have room in our car, one of the Mercedes that Dave bought him." And I was like, "Yo, I'll go with you. Like, let's go." Like, that was my key into the next phase of the night. Like, once they invite you along, it's like, "Oh, I'm in."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, come with us. We're going to go back to Dave's hotel room." Hotel room is sick. But I'm like, "Oh, my car's over there." And I was like, "Can I just leave it?" They're like, "Yeah, just update the parking on your phone." Turns out a couple members of the group had Ubered to UIC from a different hotel and needed to ride with. So when it comes to who gets the car seats, Aaron, the Take Notes host, is the first guy booted, and it was one person too much.
Really?
So
you had to drive back?
So I was, and the worst part was, I was already in my seat when it dawned on me that I was like, "Yo,
Unbuckle.
I'm the dog that's got to walk."
Yikes.
So I get out, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'll go." And I will say this, they are great people.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dave was in the other car with Ilya, Jack, Jason, and they needed to get out of there because people swarmed. They were already grouping up at the fence.
Yeah.
And so Mike and John are like, they shouldn't have been concerned for me. They should have just been like, "Yeah, we're getting out of here. Like, we'll meet up with you."
Yeah.
But John was like, "We can't just leave Aaron." And I was just like, "John,
that's so hype.
I'd take a bullet for you, John." And John goes, "Where'd you park your car?" I'm like, 2 blocks over, like 2 blocks up in a parking spot. He's like, "I'll go with you and we'll go to the hotel."
No way.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah."
I feel like that's why a lot of people follow them, just because they're genuinely nice people.
Yeah, and I'm not even scratching the surface on why John rocks. We'll get to that. So we go, and John knows his favorite. Dave has his favorite hotel. I'm not gonna say what it is because it'll make it miserable for him the next time he's here. But John not only knows where his favorite hotel is, he knows where the secret free parking is.
What?
So for broke Aaron,
This man is.
I'm like,
you gotta friend this man on the spot.
I was like, "Dude, we are best friends." He's like, "Park right here," and he's out there. He's like, "You got 2 inches because you can't park in front of hydrant." He's like, "You're good, free parking
with the Ford what?
Ford Escape, baby."
That's big.
In TMZ. And so I was like, "Thank you." And so we walk up and we go into Dave's hotel room, and at this point, the corona hadn't fully taken over the world. It was like just seeping into America. And the whole topic is Coachella going to get canceled? Rest in peace, Coachella, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh, the vibes are kind of down. Like, maybe they won't go out tonight because it was like hemming and hawing. Like, are we gonna go out? Are we gonna go? And I was like, I want to go out with this group. And I don't even like going out, but I was like, this group, I want in.
I mean, who wouldn't, right?
So
there's a chance to party with the goats right now.
And so the group goes, I'm hungry, and I was like, it's like 10:30. Like, where the hell are we gonna get food? And I didn't realize this because, like, when I went out at school when I was 21, our bars closed at midnight in the South. So like 8 to 12 is when we party. Yeah. But like Chicago, it's like when the sun comes up, we'll still be partying.
Really? I thought bars had to close at a certain time.
I think the ordinance is like 3, 4 a.m. maybe, depending on the day of the week. But I remember I was like, yo, it's like 11. Like, let's get to, turning up.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's go get food. And I was like, okay. And they're like, David goes, let's get Dude's Pizza. And the whole group just goes, no. And he's like, fine. And you guys fucking pick, but I'm not buying. And so they choose Morton's Steakhouse, which is just like a block or 2 blocks, 3 blocks. I don't know. We walked for a little while over. And we go. I'm like, are we going to be able to get a reservation here? Because like Morton's is a big deal.
You got David Dobrik.
Corona had killed all the reservations. Business conferences were shut down, so the rich dudes who eat at Morton's Steakhouse at 10:30 at night were just not to be found. So we walk in, and the hostess knows who David is and knows who the group is, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you a table in the back." So she like puts us in a back room, and like Reggie's there, John, me, Mike. We have like a full table.
I can't even imagine what that's like though. Just to be seen with them, or just to be like walking the same steps.
The table. I thought it would have been so funny if I walked into the dinner table. It was like a long thing, 10 seats each side. I just sat right in the center of the conversation. Like, you will conversate with me. So I sit on the end by Mike and John and Reggie, and we're just,
Do you know them before, or you just?
I had met them a couple times. I paintballed with John.
Okay, yeah,
done fun stuff, and Alex and Mike had come on this show. And we get our food, and I'm looking at the menu, and like I know I'm not gonna pay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm always under the mindset like, what is the cheapest option?
Okay.
And so
basket of fries, please.
And like the cheapest thing on the menu is like a $75 steak.
What?
And like the sides of macaroni are like $32.
Oh my Lord.
I'm like, this shit better make me like grow 2 inches and just be roided out. So I do the classic thing where the server comes to me first. Yeah. And if you're ever in a situation where you're eating somewhere fancy, this is the A1 tip with people will pay for you, is say, I'm not decided yet. Can you come back? And then you simply listen to exactly what the table orders, and you find your price range. If someone out there orders the $190 New York strip, that's not for you. But if someone orders the cheapest steak, you go cheapest steak. But if no one even goes near the cheap steak, don't go near the cheap steak. Have a good time.
Have a good time.
10 people there. If 9 people are eating good, number 10 can have a good time too. So I pay attention. I just order. I literally look at the server. I'm like, what Mike had? I'm like, just follow Mike. I want what Mike had. And they bring us our food. And this is like this. I'm like, this is it.
Still can't believe $75 steak is the minimum.
Dude, it was so expensive, and I'm like, this is it. This is the night I've been waiting for. I get to just have the other, like, enjoy the other side of life, like the rich experience, like all this fun stuff. Food was horrible.
What?
Horrible.
No way.
Horrible. It was like eating on undercooked hockey pucks.
Like, it's because you got Mike's order.
No, I ordered medium rare, like a 60, 70, I think it was actually $80 steak, and like sides of macaroni. The fries were good. That was the only thing that was good, and like. It was so funny because we were in there and these girls came in. They were having like a birthday party, and they were just like, "Oh my god!" They did the freak out. Yeah. And our servers were like, they sounded like they were from Europe. They had like a accent. Yeah. And they were just like, they had no idea who Dave was or like how we were eating there at like 11 and all this stuff.
Wow.
And so they would come back and they're like, "How is everything?" And I felt bad because if the food's ass and you're not playing, it's like, take a loss on the meal. If the
shit was horrible, thanks.
If the food is ass and you're paying $1,000 for your friends to eat, that's tough to swallow, much like the steak. I thought that was so funny. So, and it's so funny because they come in and we're all like looking at each other like, this is terrible.
Really?
And like, I'm not saying anything because I am a freeloader.
Who's paying? David?
It ended up being like Jack, Jason, and Ilya split it because David was like, I forgot my wallet because we didn't go to Dues.
Yeah.
And I just remember they would walk up and they'd be like, how's the food? And credit to Jason Nash. The man has the biggest heart in the world. He goes, oh, it's excellent. And I'm just like, and I don't know if it's because he's acted before or if he's a stand-up comedian. couldn't even sniff that the second they walked away. We were like, this shit is ass.
No way.
It was so good. And I just, he handled it so well. And I just remember at the end, they're like,
this shit sucks.
Did you enjoy it? And I was like, well, thanks for dinner. Yeah, I mean, it was all right. And they're like, it was bad. And I was like, I don't want to say it's bad because I just ate like $80 worth of food that I'm not going to pay for. And so they're like, yeah. So you know what was fucked up is we went outside and there was 200 girls at like 11 o'clock.
It's the paparazzi, I swear.
Dude, there's like, all right, 200 is an exaggeration, but there's like 60 people. I'm like, how do they find out we're eating dinner at a fancy restaurant downtown at 11? And these kids weren't like.
Do you know what restaurant it was? Did you ever say that?
Morton's Steakhouse or something.
Okay.
No. I might have it wrong, but they weren't like 20-year-olds and up. Like they weren't going out to parties. So they're like, oh, I see someone on social media. They were like 16, and we were in like the skyscraper zone. I was like, what?
What's with people coming around at 11 at night?
I legitimately think a majority of them just Ubered. And it's so funny because we walked out first, and there's just a bunch of cameras in our faces, and I'm just like,
yo, what is
this place sucks at making steak. I was just vibing, and they're all just like
first
looking
contact with paparazzi. What is up?
No, they're not paparazzi. These are just kids. These are fans. And I'm like 6'3" in the front, and they're all just trying to see around me, and I'm like, oh. So it's funny. So
put
me and the Vernon
your
Hills
Instagram
guy,
handle.
Me and the Vernon Hills guys kind of peel left, and they had called 2 taxis, but the taxis again didn't have enough seats for all of us.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're going over to Bottle Blonde. Like, we'll meet you guys there. And I'm like, I don't want to pay for a taxi. And then you look at who you're with still,
and you're like,
and all the money got in those 2 taxis. so we look at ourselves and we're like, all right, $60 Uber.
Yikes.
And like me, Mike, and John and Alex were just like, And I just go, guys, my Ford Escape's a couple blocks over.
No way.
And they're like, you'll drive us? I'm like, hell yeah. So we get in it and we go to Bottle Blonde. And I remember this line vividly. Is David looks up towards the end of the dinner, and it's just Susie's the only girl. Natalie went and hung with her family or just didn't come out that night. David looks at the table and he goes, I cannot believe I'm trying to get a club table with 9 dudes and 1 chick.
But it's David.
And the whole table is just like, yeah, good luck. So they get there ahead of us because we had to walk to the car. We get there like 15 minutes later, and we pull up to the door. And I don't know why. 9
dudes.
We pull up to the door at Bottle Blonde. We park, and I'm like, and John is leading us. It might be Mike. And it's like these 4 dudes. I'm in jeans and a pink sweatshirt with a blow-up sex doll on it that's Jason Nash's merch.
No.
I am nothing spectacular. I do not reek of money. And I walk in, and we're like, yeah, we're here for Delbrick. The bouncer, if I was the bouncer, and I'd be like, yeah.
Like, fuck out of here.
I'm Jesus. like, there's the road. But he looked at me, and he turned around. He was just like, okay. And he's like, follow me. And he like walks us in, and the club is bumping.
Really?
And I'm just like, this is it.
What was the club called?
Bottle Blonde.
Bottle
it's like
Blonde.
One of the bigger ones. It's like number 9, Bottle Blonde, Prism, and like they're all like kind of in a network of like the clubs.
Okay.
And I remember just thinking to myself, I'm like, this is it.
This is the moment. You're partying with David and all his friends.
And I go in, and it's just so much bass that you can't even tell what song is playing. And it just reeks of just alcohol on the floor. And like
do they have those people walking around with the signs?
Oh yeah, just absolute. And I remember we pull up, and we have like this primo table. David not only got 9 guys and a girl in, but he got like the best spot in the club.
Oh my gosh.
And it was funny because, and I think, and I'm pretty confident in saying this, our table was here, and to the table over was, I believe, 2 or 3 Bears players. Our table had 9 security guards around it. Their table had 1.
Oh my gosh.
And Dave's sitting there, and he's got his hat on. He's like just trying to like look down. But it's so funny because I could have literally took David by the armpits and held him up, and the whole place would have acted like it was Simba. And they all knew who it was. And they were just staring at us. And it's so funny because like
you're in the VIP section, so you're above, right?
Yeah, like I'm standing on a booth, and I'm like looking out over the club.
You feel alpha right now.
Yeah, I'm like,
what's up, guys?
I'm like, I'm living the dream right now.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me how everyone in that club had their eyes on him from the start of when we walked in to the end.
Wow.
And but when we walked in, and like, it was funny because like, you can tell that when Dave comes to Chicago, he goes there.
Yeah.
Because the security guards,
they know.
Like, they knew, like Jason knew him. There was one security guard that I think might have been like the veteran staff security guard.
Okay.
Because when we walked into our section, they're like, well, what's up? Like, hey, it's good to see you again. Like, they were like friendly with him, and they like knew each other. And we all sit down, and mind you, this table at this point has 9 guys and 1 girl, Susie. So Susie's there and she's having a good time, but she's the only girl in our section, and it's just 9 dudes in jeans and hoodies and the nicest table at Bottle Blonde. Dave's just on his phone, and it's funny because the promoter, I think we probably got most of the night for free. I think I saw David tip a shitload of money, but
yeah,
the promoter was like, "Can I take photos of you here and put it on Instagram?" And obviously Dave was like, "Yeah, I don't care. Like,
of course,
I'm already here."
Yeah.
Like, so he's taking photos of him, and it's funny because David doesn't even look up. He's just like on his phone as the promoter's like, "David Dobrik's here." And I think they have a good relationship with the promoter, and the promoter's just doing his job. But so that happens, and I'm like, okay. I'm like,
so you're just vibing over here while he's getting pictures.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, do I do my classic guy at the bar move where I look at the homies I'm close with and I go, first round's on me, because then everybody just takes turns and you just buy $3 beers. And I'm like, something about this environment tells me that going to the bar and being like, yo, 7 Miller Lights, that's simply not the play.
Not the play at all.
So I'm sitting there and we have like all these mixers in our section. I'm like, all right, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? And as you said, just girls in very minimal clothing with flares and hot dynamite come walking out with like signs and all this stuff. And like some people like react and they like take photos of it, and no one in our booth even.
They're probably so used to it. They're just like, oh yeah, this is the usual. You're just over here,
I'm
like passed out.
And this is something I had to remind myself of. I didn't film like a thing from the night. I had a couple Instagram stories of like Ilya and stuff on my like close friends, and I just remember I was like, don't be the guy that's like, oh look what I and and I was like, what is this gonna be like? And sure enough, like 10 minutes of us sitting there, a bottle of tequila comes and like 16 Coronas, and I was like,
this is it.
And still I'm like, outsider, don't grab stuff, just like wait till everyone goes. And naturally Mike and the guys are like, here's a Corona, here's a tequila shot, let's get after it. And I'm like, oh, these guys, I have done this before,
they know how to do it.
And so I'm sitting there and like we're drinking, having a good time, and it's funny because like how the club works, if you want girls to come to your section, is you simply like make eye contact and they're like, can I come in? And if you want them to come in, you just tap security guard, they're like, they're good. It's like a gateway. It's like a boarding pass to a flight. Like, your night's about to take off once you get by this guy. But the thing is I have terrible vision. I don't like wearing my glasses when I'm out. I like the way I look without glasses, but I don't wear contacts because they're like 2 inches thick. So I'm up on this club looking out at girls.
This man can't even see.
I can't see what they look like. But all of them know that, like, David's not going to look at you and be like, come in here.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that. Ilya's not going to do that. Jason's not going to do that. Some other people will.
And you have
and
big baller
girls see me and they're like, that is my ticket. That is the sucker who will let me in. And I remember I'm looking out and you can just girls are just like staring at me. And I'm like, no clue what any of you are. Like I couldn't make eye contact with you if I wanted. If you're over 10 yards away, you might as well be like the little me characters in bowling. Just like, I don't know who you are.
That's hilarious.
And it got going. And John had work the next morning. John's like, Aaron, if I stay sober, can I drive us home? And I was like,
absolutely, yeah. Then you don't. Yeah.
I was like, John, do you want to kiss? like, yes, of course.
John's your guy.
But the thing is Ilya and Dave just do not want John to go in early.
Okay.
They want him to party the whole time.
All I belong to.
Do just what you want.